Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with the pregame report for Game 1 of the Western Conference Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. It's been a long wait for these two teams to get going here. It feels like it's been forever since Edmonton last played. And for the Dallas Stars as well, they haven't played for a few days, so there could be some rust early in this game. That first goal is going to be pivotal in this one, and I'm very curious to see how long it takes for both teams to really get into the game. Now, Dallas, they have the advantage tonight, of course, not only being at home, but Dallas's crowd, I think, is very underrated around the NHL. Dallas's fans are loud, they're passionate, and I love that they are standing the whole game. The amount of fans that stand in Dallas is unbelievable. They are a rowdy crowd, and if Edmonton can take that crowd out as early as possible tonight, maybe you get an early goal, maybe you get a lucky bounce, try and take the crowd out as early as possible, because even if Dallas has a little bit of rust to start, because we know the Oilers are going to have rust. The Oilers always come out of these breaks looking pretty poor usually. So if Dallas has some rust, their crowd is going to be able to get them into the game a lot quicker, in my opinion. Now, in today's pregame report, as always, we will be going over the projected lineups. I'll be going over all of the stats, including the underlying advanced metrics. I'll be going over the keys to the game, my players to watch, and my score prediction. Please let me know who your players to watch are. Let me know your score prediction. And if you end up enjoying this video, just hit that like button. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Now, without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. We'll jump right into the projected lineups for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I did do a full series preview yesterday or the day before. If you want to check that out, I will leave a link to that video in the description. But everything that I talk about in this video, I also talked about in that one. So the top line for Edmonton is projected to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman. This is a line that has a lot of familiarity with each other. They were reunited towards the end of that Vegas series, and they are going to be looking for this line to produce, especially Connor McDavid. He only has 3 goals. Now, McDavid is second in the NHL playoffs in points. He has 17 points, that's great. We love that, Connor. He's putting up almost 1.6 points per game right now. Again, nothing to complain about when it comes to an Oilers fan perspective, but Connor McDavid is shooting less than 10% right now, and we know that he is starting to fire the puck a little bit more. We know the puck is eventually going to start going in just a tad more for Connor McDavid, and look for him to really have an impact in this series. I really do think him and Draisaitl, I think they both feel that they haven't gotten, to the point that they are happy with when it comes to their own production. I think obviously they're very happy that Edmonton's depth has really shown up so far in the postseason, but these two players, McDavid and Draisaitl specifically, they put a lot of weight on their shoulders, on their own shoulders, I should say, and they really do put that pressure on themselves to, also perform and score goals. And it's nice that the supporting cast has shown up for Edmonton. They're going to need that supporting cast to continue to play really strong hockey and provide those depth goals for the team. But look for Connor McDavid to have a massive impact in this series. I just think he's due for one of those McDavid nuclear explosions, but we'll have to see how the whole thing plays out. On the second line, you have Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Kasperi Kapanen. Cheeks clapping in, as the kids say, as the players say. Kapanen, he closed that series out against the Vegas Golden Knights with the overtime winner. The Oilers won 1-0 in Game 5, and this is Edmonton's, quote-unquote shutdown line. They are a line that, they were tasked with shutting down Jack Eichel in Game 4 on home ice in Edmonton, and they did it so well that Chris Knobloch went, you know what? Let's just keep this line together, and you guys can just keep shutting down whoever I need you to shut down, and maybe you can also chip in offensively. This line has a perfect mix of speed, skill, and grit to be an effective shutdown line. Podkolzin and Kapanen, traditionally third, fourth line grinder type players, they get some penalty kill time, so they know how to shut things down. They know how to play a style that makes it really difficult for another team's, offensive players to get going. And then, of course, Leon Draisaitl. We all know how good Leon Draisaitl is. I think he has another level to find in his game. Whether he's 100% or not does not matter to me. At this time of year, you got to find a way to start producing. And Draisaitl, he's third in the playoffs in points. I believe he has 15 points in the postseason. Look for him to also have a pretty big impact here. Look for Draisaitl to start putting the puck in the net just a little bit more. He had that breakaway against Vegas in Game 5 that he couldn't convert on. He's had some one-timers that hit the outside of the net, hit the post, over the net. I'm looking for Draisaitl to have an impact here offensively and, of course, on the defensive side of the puck. Look for this line on home ice as well. Look for this line to be the line that will be the shutdown line against Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz of the Dallas Stars. But because Dallas has home ice advantage, I'm sure they're going to try and avoid that line with the Rantanen line tonight. Third line for the Oilers is going to be Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. This line hasn't had a whole lot of time together, but they have had good underlying metrics, and Evander Kane, especially in the playoffs right now, he is playing some of the best hockey I've seen him play in an Oiler uniform, and it's not just the production. Yes, he has 4 goals. He has 7 points. That's very respectable. In fact, I would argue that is incredible for a player that took 10 months between the last game that he played and then playing in the playoffs, and to step in and have the impact that Evander Kane has had, at the toughest time of the year, the grindiest, most physical time of the year. Evander Kane has been great for Edmonton. He's been great defensively, which is something we're not used to seeing out of Evander Kane. So that's awesome. Like, he's clearly bought in, and he is helping this team win on both sides of the puck. All 3 zones, he has been committed. His skating looks good. He's been very physical. He's getting under the skin of opponents. He's, I know he was pushed into Adin Hill, but it didn't exactly look like Kane was going to be able to stop regardless. He's getting under the skin of his opponents, and that's what you need from him. Look for him to really get under the skin of a few players. Look for him and Jamie Benn also to kind of go at it in this series. They're both in the bottom 6 of their respective teams. Jamie Benn is on the 3rd line in Dallas, Evander Kane 3rd line in Edmonton. Look for those 2 players specifically to get a lot of ice time against each other, and keep an eye out on the stick work and the physicality between them. I would not be surprised if those 2 maybe even go at it and drop the gloves at some point. I don't know if it's going to happen. Fights in the NHL playoffs are pretty rare nowadays, but you never know. Evander Kane seems like one of those guys that might try and get Jamie Benn to go. Adam Henrique, he had 2 goals in Game 4 against Vegas, and he's been really good as well. He's been effective away from the puck, decent on the penalty kill, so they need him to continue to, do his thing. And Connor Brown is Connor Brown. He has 4 goals. He has 7 points in the postseason. He has been unbelievable for Edmonton. His depth has been great. His two-way play has been great. He is an energizer bunny who just goes and goes and goes. He does not stop. They need him to also continue to produce at the rate that he has been, and the team is going to be in a pretty good spot. And then, of course, the 4th line here, you have Trent Frederick with Matthias Janmark and Corey Perry. This line probably not going to be effective on the forecheck and producing goals. However, there's a great mix of size, skill, and a little bit of, grit, that little tenacity. You have Corey Perry, who's a pest. You have Trent Frederick, who can get under the opponent's skin. And all 3 of those players have shown so far in the playoffs that they have some offense, especially Corey Perry. Most of his offenses come with McDavid or Draisaitl and on the power play, but look for Corey Perry to also chip in as well. Now, on defense, Kulak with Bouchard, Nurse with Stetcher, Wallman with Klingberg. That top 6 for Edmonton, I think, handily beats the top 6 of the Dallas Stars. I'm going to show Dallas's top 6, by the way. And Dallas, they actually have been playing 11-7. So I'm going to talk about the 7 D-men for Dallas and why I think the Oilers are going to be able to take advantage of that specifically. Yes, Harley and Heiskanen are just 2 unbelievable players. They arguably are the 2 best defensemen in this entire series for Dallas. Well, not just for Dallas, but for for both teams. We all love Bouchard, of course, and we all love Wallman. We love Nurse, Stetcher, and Klingberg and Kulak, but Harley and Heiskanen are just on another level that Edmonton is going to have to be very aware of, and they're going to have to do it as best as they can to slow down their ability to move the puck and produce offense. And for Edmonton, you have Matthias Ekholm as the extra. It does sound like he did travel with the team. Do not expect him to play. As of the recording of this video, it is before 9 a.m. local time here in Alberta, so I haven't seen if there's been any line adjustments. I haven't seen if anything has changed compared to what they were practicing with. But if Ekholm did travel with the team, there was talk that he wasn't going to travel with the team. But if from what I've been reading and some of the reports I've been seeing is true, that Mattias Ekholm did travel to Dallas. Maybe he doesn't play tonight. Maybe he plays in game 2. We'll have to see what goes on with Mattias Ekholm. But I did want to quickly touch on the defense for the Dallas Stars. I mentioned Harley and Heiskanen. Obviously, that is a phenomenal pairing. The best defense pair in the entire Western Conference Final. In my personal opinion, that's no disrespect to the Oilers, whom I love. But Harley and Heiskanen are just they're terrific, especially Miro Heiskanen. That is a top-end defender, high-end elite talent, and he looks like he's getting better and better back from his major injury that he suffered in the regular season. Good old Mark Stone diving at his leg. We've never seen Mark Stone dive at a player before. Good old Mark Stone. But then the rest of their defense, this is where you can take advantage if you're Edmonton. Esa Lindell with Cody Ceci, not a terrible D pair, but not a good D pair. Of course, a lot of Oilers, legacy media, and there's a decent amount of fans that, I think overrate Cody Ceci a lot. I still think Cody Ceci, his defensive metrics are not good, and he can be exposed. Put the puck in his corner, and he's going to be bobbling it and losing it. And then, of course, the third pair, Bichsel and Petrovic. Now, again, if you can't take advantage of this defense pair, like if I look at Petrovic, Bichsel, Ceci, and Lindell right now, I don't think either 4 of those defensemen would make Edmonton's top 6 in any capacity as of right now. I don't think Lindell, Ceci, Petrovic, or Bichsel get in over the likes of Stetcher, Nurse, Wallman, or Klingberg. I think Edmonton has the much deeper defensive core right now. And then the 7th D-man for Dallas is, of course, Ilya Lyubushkin. And again, that's another defenseman where they wouldn't even crack Edmonton's D-core in the playoffs. I think Dallas's weakness is on defense. They don't have the ability to have that high-end skill to get that puck up the ice, skate it out of trouble. If you're the Oilers forecheck, I know the Oilers want to be responsible, really responsible two-way game. They can slow things down. They can clog the neutral zone if they have to. If you're the Oilers, look for Edmonton to be aggressive. Look for them to play 2 forwards deep and then have that F3 kind of be that extra, pressure, the way like Florida plays, right? How they always seem like they have someone that's on top of you when you're trying to get out of the defensive zone. If Edmonton plays like that, especially if Heiskanen and Harley are not on the ice, the Oilers should be able to find some offense and find some success. Again, I don't want to just act like I'm underestimating the opponent here. Just going by the numbers, going by, on paper at least, Edmonton has a huge edge when it comes to the defensive core. But the bigger question mark here is in net. Of course, we know the Dallas Stars have one of the best goalies in the NHL in Jake Ottinger. The Oilers have Stuart Skinner. Now, Skinner is on a 2-game shutout streak, and obviously that is not sustainable. You're not just going to keep shutting opponents out. However, if Skinner puts up about a .900 save percentage in this series every night, I believe in Edmonton's talent and offense to be able to get the job done against Jake Ottinger. Stu Skinner last year against Jake Ottinger put up a .922 save percentage, a .195 goals against average. Skinner outplayed and outdueled Ottinger last year. Can he do it 2 years in a row? Can Skinner do it 2 years in a row? It remains to be seen whether he can. I hope he can, but Dallas obviously has a huge edge when it comes to the goaltending. For Stuart Skinner, he's going to have the series of his life, and it has to start tonight in Game 1. Now, taking a look at all of the stats here, the Dallas Stars, they are 8-5. Their power play ranks 3rd in the playoffs. Their penalty kill also ranks 3rd. They are a terrific special teams team, I should say. Dallas, their power play, if the Oilers are taking dumb penalties, this game is going to be over. The series will be over very quickly. Dallas has too much talent to just gift power plays. Edmonton has to stay out of the box. But where Dallas falters is their ability to produce a lot of offense. They rank 11th in goals per game, but they do rank 4th in goals against per game. So even though they don't score a whole lot, they don't give up a whole lot either. Thanks to Jake Ottinger, and now that Heiskanen's back, it's much more difficult to score against them than earlier in the postseason. Dallas's expected goals for at 5-on-5 is 8th in the NHL. Their high danger chances for ranks 7th, and their shots for percentage ranks 14th. So this is a team that does get regularly outshot and outchanced. But again, you can have a goaltender stand on his head. You can have a goalie. You can have defense, and you can have timely scoring. The advanced stats don't always paint the full picture. I shouldn't say someone, multiple people told me that, of course, Dallas's metrics aren't going to look great because they went up against Colorado. They went up against Winnipeg. Well, the Oilers went up against the LA Kings in round one, who had the best home record. They had some of the best advanced metrics in the entire NHL. LA had the best defensive metrics in the entire NHL. And then the Oilers played Vegas, who, again, are one of those teams that have terrific players, great metrics. Maybe not the best, expected goals metrics, but Vegas is a very stingy team, very difficult. I think the way some fans are, pointing out that Dallas has had a tougher road to the conference finals, I think there's a lot of people that are kind of sleeping on Edmonton in that same regard. A lot of people think for some reason, like there's a lot of revisionist history going on, that LA was some kind of pushover for Edmonton. That LA Kings team was incredible and a very tough out. And I don't know how many teams in the Western Conference would have been able to do what Edmonton did against them. That was a series where LA could have very likely swept Edmonton if they didn't blow the game 3 challenges. And if they didn't blow their two-goal lead in game 4, that is a much different series. That LA Kings team was very, very good. So I know a lot of fans come to the defense of Dallas, say that they've had a tough road, obviously, but the Oilers have also had a tough road. You don't get to the conference final by accident. At this point in the playoffs, there are no accidents. So looking at the Oilers now, they are 8-3. They've won 8 of their last 9 games overall. Their power play ranks 6th. However, they do not have a power play goal on the road. They are 6 for 10 at home, but they are 0 for 14 on the road, or 0 for 12. I can't remember what the stat is. Either way, they have to get a power play goal on the road. If they don't get their power play going on the road in this series, it's going to be game over pretty darn quickly for Dallas. Edmonton's penalty kill also ranks 14th. However, after game 3 against the Kings, since that moment, so game 4 against LA, 5-6, and then games 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against Vegas, the Oilers have an 80% penalty kill percentage. So the first 3 games against the Kings really kind of skewed how Edmonton's penalty kill has been in the playoffs. They're clicking at about 80% since game 3 against LA, which is good. Obviously, they have to maintain that, though. Edmonton ranks number 1 in goals per game. They rank 9th in goals against per game. Their expected goals for ranks number 1. Their high danger chances ranks number 1. And their shots for percentage ranks 3rd. The Oilers at 5-on-5 generate a higher rate of higher danger chances than their opponents. They generate a high danger. They generate more expected goals is what I'm trying to say. This is a good 5-on-5 team. Dallas Stars, they are a good special teams team. We'll see how these two juggernauts go at it tonight. There's some extra stats in the middle of the screen there. 5v5 goals for percentage, shots for per 60, shots against per 60. You can take a look at that, and I will move on to the keys to the game for the Edmonton Oilers. Take that crowd out of it as early as humanly possible. I mentioned the Dallas Stars fans. I mentioned how rowdy they are. I mentioned how loud they get, how much fun they have at games, and how much of an effect they can have positively on their team. We all know Rogers Place is an absolute, hornet's nest for opponents. The Dallas Stars also should be getting that type of treatment as well. Their fans are unbelievable. If Edmonton can get a goal within the first 5 minutes of this game, they have a terrific chance of coming out on top. Take the crowd out of it as early as possible. But we all know Edmonton, they come out of these really long breaks, usually very, very rusty, and I expect that to be the same case tonight. For Edmonton, if they can control 5-on-5 play tonight and also score a power play goal, they have a great chance of winning this hockey game. For Dallas, your keys to the game, number 1, if Edmonton is to take the crowd out of it, you need to feed off the crowd. If Dallas comes out a little bit rusty, same as the Oilers, Dallas will get that extra adrenaline shot from their home ice advantage, how loud their fans are. They can feed off the crowd, get that first goal, and they'll be off and running, and the Oilers could be in big, big trouble. Number 2 for Dallas, make Edmonton skate. Because the Oilers are usually very rusty after extended breaks, and this is not just a recent example for Edmonton. Anytime they have more than like 3 or 4 days off in any capacity, their first game back is usually pretty darn ugly and really difficult to watch. If Dallas makes Edmonton skate, force them to move around, force them to chase, Dallas is going to have a lot of success tonight. And number 3 for Dallas, attack off the rush. Of course, that can go hand in hand with making Edmonton skate, but also playing responsible in the neutral zone. Edmonton is going to try and utilize their speed and puck possession to attack Dallas. If Dallas can just remain patient and wait for Edmonton to just make their own mistakes, attack off the rush, attack off transition, Dallas is going to have success here. Now, my players to watch, I already mentioned both of these players, Evander Kane for Edmonton, Jamie Benn for the Dallas Stars. Jamie Benn only has 1 goal in the postseason so far. Look for him to try and have an impact early in this series, and look for Evander Kane to have that response as well. I think these two players are going to be butting heads throughout the series. I don't think they like each other at all, and I don't know. I just have a feeling those two players, there could be something going on there. I'm not saying that they're going to drop the gloves. Maybe I'm excited about the possibility that they could, but for Evander Kane, of course, just no dumb penalties. And he's been good at not taking dumb penalties. He has to remain disciplined. Now, with all that out of the way, all that good information, all the stats, all the lines, all the discussion, what is my score prediction? Now, as an Oilers homer, I want to say Edmonton's going to win this one and go up 1-0 on the road. However, Oilers fans, please don't hate me here. When I look at this from a realistic perspective and a historical perspective with how Edmonton comes out of the gate after extended breaks, they're on the road. They're going up against a very good Dallas Stars team in their barn. The Oilers have had a lot of time off. I think Edmonton is going to be rusty. I think they're going to come out slow. I think they're going to get absolutely walloped in the first about probably 30 minutes of this game. They're going to have a strong pushback, but I'm going to say it's going to be a 5-3 Dallas Stars victory. I think Edmonton will make it a 4-3 game late in the third before Dallas gets an empty netter. I do really think that Dallas should have the edge here. They should be able to come out on top. They should be able to take advantage of the fact that Edmonton does start slow in these types of games. The Oilers have had a long layoff, and obviously I hope the Oilers win. Like, I don't want them to lose. It's not like I'm predicting Dallas to win because I want Dallas to win. But just looking at the Oilers historically, I could see them dropping this game 1 and then rebounding for game 2. At the end of the day, as long as they split in Dallas, that's all that matters to me, whether they win tonight or in game 2. Let's see what happens, folks. I will be live streaming the game tonight here on the Austin Hockey YouTube channel if that's something that you are interested in watching, as I provide commentary and you want to support independent media. Absolutely tune into the live stream tonight. Our chat is a blast. We'll likely have a couple cats for everyone to hang out with. I can show everyone Kitty Kitty for you here. Just give me 1 second. Let me lift that up. Hi, Kitty Kitty. How you doing, buddy? Hey? Yeah, no, okay, he's too sleepy. He's too sleepy to say hi. That's okay. We'll get Kitty Kitty involved tonight on the live stream. Thank you all for your continued support. It means the absolute world. I can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait to see you throughout the rest of the series. Dallas Stars fans, I'm giving you the preemptive handshake. Have a great series. I can't wait to interact with all of you. This is going to be so much fun. The rematch of last year's conference final begins tonight. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers.